Look, we get it, Tiger fans. We know the baseball season can be a grind. Luckily, when you're ready to trade hot dogs for tailgates, we've got you covered with Litterbox, a Detroit Lions podcast. It's the same unfiltered Detroit sports talk you get here, just with more biting kneecaps and fewer bullpen meltdowns. So when Sunday rolls around, don't just pace around like AJ Hinch waiting for a reliever. Fire up Litterbox, a Detroit Lions podcast, wherever you're listening now, and roar with us through the NFL season.
Billy P. from the D and Chet here. Thank you all for listening to Litterbox, a Detroit Tigers podcast. If you enjoy the show, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. We'd love hearing your thoughts too. Leave us a rating or just drop us a comment. Please let us know what you think and whatever you want us to cover next. Your feedback really helps us grow and keeps the Tigers talk rolling all season long. Go Tigers, and thank you.
You're listening to The Litterbox, a Detroit Tigers podcast, with your hosts, Chet West and Bill Patterson.
Welcome to the Detroit Tigers Litterbox, and it's celebration time. Victory chicken on a Thursday, Chet, with your champagne.
Pop those champagne bottles, baby. We're going to the division series, Billy.
Traveling out west. Saturday and Sunday, the Detroit Tigers are going to be playing the Seattle Mariners at Safeco Park. And I do think the better team won in this series, as painful as it was at times, Chet. The Tigers won today, Thursday, the 2nd of October, 6-3. They lost game 2 of the series, 6-1. It was actually a pretty competitive game until the 8th inning, and then the Guardians pulled away. And then they won Tuesday, game 1, 2-1. And I keep hearing, have you heard this as well, that the team that wins game 1 in these wild card series is like grossly favored to keep going forward and win the series? Yeah, which I didn't know that.
I would have thought, in this series, Tigers come out, win game 1. I felt pretty good going into game 2, but I would have thought after the Indians took game 2 and in the fashion they did it in, that they would have easily just grabbed this game today. Admittedly, was kind of going into it saying, I don't know if we got it to get this thing done today. I really didn't know if we did. And to be honest, it looked very dicey there for a while. Once again, leaving runners in scoring position, not getting them in, that was driving me crazy for this whole entire series. And finally, it's like the offense, I said it to you guys in the text chat, it's like the offense took an X-Lax and everything started flowing again inside of one inning. I will say this, though.
They must have had Cleveland Polish boys delivered to the locker room.
They must have to loosen things up a little bit. I will say this. Our pitching throughout this series did a pretty good job. The Cleveland Guardians do not have the strongest lineup top to bottom. It's been talked about quite a bit. Their strength is their pitching, and they have a very, very good pitching staff. So maybe this was a case of good pitching beating good hitting for them throughout when our hitting wasn't going, and we finally broke through. I don't know. The way I look at this, now you get the Mariners, who they likewise, things only get harder as you go into the postseason. But I'm glad we made it back to the division series this year. I think the wild card would have felt a little bit light as a result for what we had done this season. But when you start off the way we did, winning the way we did in the first half of the season, all of a sudden expectations just go sky high. Bill, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, like I alluded to earlier, the better team won. I still can't. It's inexplicable what happened the month of September to the Tigers. The pitching was good in this series. I'm going to tell you right now, my game ball goes to one Javier Baez. He was the best. He was the best hitter the Tigers had.
Javier Baez?
He's Javier Baez.
We're going to give him Baez. Okay.
Yeah. And then aside from that, you got to give a shout out to Skubal. You got to give a shout out to Mize. You got to give a shout out to Flaherty. And then you also have to give a shout out to Will Vest, Kyle Finnegan, and Tyler Holton. It was excellent. So the pitching was really good. The only guy that really didn't deliver was Brennan Hanafy, but he was the wrong man out in some of those matchups. So yeah, the Tigers are moving off to play Seattle at Safeco Field. And I'm just doing an early look in on this, Chet. Tickets are twice as expensive for these two games in Seattle as any other Milwaukee, Toronto, Philadelphia. And then the reason
they're
being,
excited for their Mariners right now.
Yeah, I believe this is the first time they've made the playoffs in 10 seasons. So I think
it's been a
part
bit
of that. Yeah. Excuse me. Scratch what I just said. I didn't look at the Philly tickets. Those are much more expensive than the Seattle tickets.
That sounds right.
Have you been to Safeco Field?
I've never been to Safeco. I've driven around outside of it. I've never been in it. Been to Seattle a couple times. I get the feeling that town is very connected to their ball club. They're not what you would call a major market team.
So there's a lot of excitement on their team. They play, in the downtown ballpark. Mm-hmm. It's huge. It has a retractable roof. This time of year, it should be absolutely gorgeous. They have possibly the best August and September anywhere in the country. I love it here in the Midwest. I know you do as well, but they have...
I've enjoyed all this time I've spent out there.
60 to 65 degree days, 55 degree nights. They don't have insects this time of year. Beautiful sunsets. The water keeps things nice and reasonable, but the sun shines, so it's gorgeous. Now, fast forward to late November, December, January, you're going to be lucky to see the sun and deal with a lot of rain. With that, let's talk a little bit about just the quick snapshot on this. The Tigers played 6 games against the Mariners this year. They played them the second series of the year after they got swept by the Dodgers in Los Angeles. Went up and then took 2 of 3, the first 2, and then lost the second series of the year against the Mariners. Then they faced him again the weekend before the All-Star break at Comerica and got swept in a very, very uncompetitive fashion.
That was like the beginning of our sort of gradual
descent to hell,
roll downhill towards September, where we just didn't have as good a second half as we had a first half. Our first half was incredible. Their rotation is pretty darn good. They're going to roll a guy by the name of Logan Gilbert out there for game 1. I would assume it will be Logan Gilbert for game 1. And he and Skubal are going to go at it. And I am very excited to see how this whole thing shows up. You're talking about 2 of the best pitchers in the American League there. And that's, again, playoffs. We're going to get this. We got Gavin Williams with Cleveland, and he's yet again another great young pitcher coming up. So you're really not going to have too many weak starting pitchers going forward, especially in those games 1, 2, and 3. George Kirby's in there. Brian Wu is an excellent young pitcher. He's going to be in, I think he's like their number 3 guy behind Luis Castillo, who's their 2. So this is going to be a challenge. And I'm real excited to see Julio Rodriguez play in the postseason. Of course, you're going to get Cal Raleigh. Of course, Eugenio Suarez will be out there, somebody we talked about around the trade deadline. What are you looking for as far as, where do you think the Mariners can beat us?
In just about every facet of the game.
Just about every facet of the game.
I mean, you take Skubal out of the equation, their starting pitching's better. Regardless of who you want to throw out of our bullpen, their bullpen's been better. And then their 1 through 9 starting every day is much better.
And they
made a couple key trades. They traded for Josh Naylor, the brother of Bo Naylor, who we just saw plenty of in all these Guardian games. And they do have Eugenio Suarez. I mean, the big names are going to be Cal Raleigh and JP Crawford. The ballpark plays big, Chet. So how the Tigers I guess your question is, what do the Mariners do well? They do everything well. There's really nothing they don't do well. We know the Tigers, they run the bases well, but they're not fast. The Tigers clearly are struggling with runners in scoring position, and they struggle to manufacture runs. The Mariners are good at all these things, and their bullpen is as good as you're going to find probably in the American League. How the Tigers win it is, I think, the bookend of what you wanted to ask me. And that is, if the Tigers can continue getting guys on the bases, it's a huge ballpark and they can run and behave a lot like the Tigers would at Comerica. And they weren't able to do that at Progressive Field because it's a little bit of a bandbox. So I think this plays to the Tigers, no call to nature, but to their natural habitat.
Sure.
And so I think
we're playing in 2 pitchers' parks for this whole series.
Yes.
So theoretically, the offense should be down a little bit anyways.
Tigers have to take one of the weekend games coming home with the series tied 1-1. If it's 2-0, I don't think great things are going to happen. This co-host is going to be in the D, so if you want to say hi.
Location.
Maybe you can message the show and maybe I'll set up a meet and greet.
Catch them early, folks. Catch them early.
One of the finer establishments in and around Comerica. If the Tigers do split, I like their chances to wrap this up at home.
Yeah, we have to take the one in Seattle. We got to get the one in Seattle. And then you come home and you finish it out. Best of 5 series. It's, I wish they were all 7 games, to be honest. I certainly don't like the best of 3 series. I don't feel like we get a good taste of things there. I like how it ended up for us here against Cleveland. Worked out great. But I'd love them all to be best of 7 series, to be honest, if we could get there. We're never going to get that, though. The postseason would take forever. I do wonder how things will go against their pitching staff. They have a good pitching staff. So if our offense keeps going down this weak path, I just don't know that our bullpen can keep up. I'm glad we got to the division series. To get past it, it's going to take quite a bit of probably luck and a little magic and mojo to get through this. But you know what? They can do it. They just got to play their best ball.
Absolutely. And I do think getting, I don't know if the monkey off the back, but whatever on your back, off your back. I mean, the Guardians had gotten to the point of being the Tigers' Achilles heel, and still maybe in the future. I mean, this is not over.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, this isn't over by any stretch, and I love that it's developing into a great rivalry. I'd rather it be the Guardians than I would. No offense to your hometown, the Twins or the White Sox. My hometown.
I do not disagree.
Kansas City feels too far and remote, so.
I was shocked to see last year was the first time the Tigers had played the Guardians in a postseason, or the Indians for that matter.
Well, while you bring up Indian Guardians, loyal listener Brett L sent an awesome photo from Cleveland. We talked about how they decided.
Was that from Brett? Good.
And remember how you and I talked last time about the bridge?
The namesake, the Guardian namesake.
Yeah, when they decided to convert from Indians, which was offensive to some.
Yes.
And maybe many or whatever. So they switched to Guardians. But I have a punchline for you, my friend and co-host. Guess what the Guardians are on this bridge? They are
going to break my heart.
American Indians.
Oh.
They're 35-foot tall stone statue that looks like something out of Lord of the Rings when they're rowing into Gondor. I mean, they're massive, Chet. It's an awesome sight. But the best part, Chet, is, I kid you not, it's an American Indian, full headdress, bow and arrow,
if we ever go to Cleveland for a game, though, you did say you were going to try and climb up on it.
No way. No how. I mean, I'll try.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Where's the nearest ER? I don't even want to see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but, I'll tell you what.
I do have to thank our listeners, though.
That's great.
I mean, like, giving us photos. He's like, I can't wait to see you climb this beast. And I was like, why do I need to?
Big.
Why do I need to climb it? Yeah.
But it is interesting that a Guardian is just an Indian in the end of the day. At any rate, Brett, thanks for sending the picture over. We appreciate you as a dedicated listener and for showing us what a Guardian looks like. I guess my Marvel thing goes out the window. I guess that's not a thing in this whole scenario, which sort of disappoints me.
So now we know what the Guardian looks like, and hopefully you can save that when we, in the off season, get our website up and running and do a little more social media. That will be one of the photos. I do think I would like to live pod if we ever go to Cleveland at the base of the statue.
At the base of the statue?
I mean, I'll climb. I didn't mean I'd climb to the top or anything. I'm not Bono.
No. I gotcha.
The Yuppie Aid or whatever he did in San Francisco, where he spray painted half of the Embarcadero. I mean, that's not what this pod's about.
No, we certainly aren't.
We stand for more than that.
If we could get back to baseball. I'm going to ask you a question. This is a surprise question. Who is your pick to click for the Tigers in this series coming up?
I'm riding the hot hand. I'm riding Javier Baez.
You're Javier Baez.
I'm going to go back to Riley Green. I think he's feeling a little bit better. I think Z-Max playing better as well. And I think
so
Meadows.
You're buying into this, the pressure's off type thing.
Yeah.
The pressure's off and the boys are going to let it rip.
I think Dingler could perform as well, who I picks not to click. Torres looks like he already got news from his agent that the next contract's sitting on his desk.
He looks like he's not happy that the season is still going.
Exactly. And then another guy that I am rapidly losing faith in, and you and I kind of got in a text disagreement on this, is Spencer Torkelson.
You're going to pick on Torque.
Well, Chet, he's not hitting when we need him to, which is runners in scoring position. I know the whole team isn't, but when you're a first baseman and you're the big bop in the lineup, batting somewhere between third, fourth, and fifth most of the season, your job is expected to do that. We're not asking you to be nimble on the base pass. We're not asking you to be a Gold Glover at first base. We're asking you to do one of 5 tools, and that is hit for power.
And I don't know how much he's going to do in this series. And here's an interesting factoid for you. The entire starting staff of the Seattle Mariners, all righties.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a lefty starter.
No, it's not until you get to the bullpen, and then it balances weirdly.
Yep. It's very, very bizarre. And even their bullpen, I mean, you're talking like 1 or 2 lefties in their bullpen.
Kind of like the Tigers.
Are they allergic to left-handed starters? It's kind of nuts. They have Gabe Spear and Caleb Ferguson who throw left-handed. It's very bizarre, and that's it. So we have a lefty, we have a good amount of lefties in our lineup. We can roll quite a few guys out there. So this could be an interesting matchup situation to look at, too.
Too small of a sample size. And
too small.
And the Tigers were cooked.
They were. Leading into that All-Star break, they were ready to take
Zach
a break.
McKinstry and Javier Baez were All-Stars. Gleyber Torres was an All-Star.
They were basking in their All-Star votes.
It was like a naked hot dog out of a steamer box. They were
basking
in their own juices.
I'm going to give you my prediction after you talk about basking in juices. I'm going to say Mariners in 5. I think it's going to go back to Seattle. Does it go back to? It goes back to Seattle. It's 2-2-1, right?
Yeah.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Tigers in 4.
Tigers in 4. They're going to get it done at home. So that means they got to win 1 in Seattle and then get the 2 at home. I'm saying Mariners in 5. We'll see what happens. This could be interesting. Fascinating series. All right, fans.
Thank you, Litterbox listeners. Go Tigers. On to the next
division.
When
division playoffs.
We'll do a quick update for you all once we get pitching matchups and game times and all that.
Yeah.
But literally, the Tigers just won 12 minutes ago. So we are committed to our craft and giving you
your instant reaction.
Instant reaction show.
All right. Thanks, folks. Go Tigers. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Litter Box, a Detroit Tigers podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're Bill and Chet. We'll be back soon with more Tigers talk. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to follow or subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, if you got a minute, leave us a quick review. Till next time, go Tigers.